What's up, guys? Welcome to the Macintosh Review. Now, I usually cover Apple products here on my channel. As you guys know, anything ranging from iOS to the iPhone to the iPad, iPod Touch, Macs, you name it. But this was big enough news that I wanted to make a new video kind of out of the ordinary just to discuss some tech news. I like to do this from time to time just for you guys, and the big news today is all about net neutrality, which I'm sure you guys have actually heard about. Now, today the FCC officially repealed net neutrality, and so I wanted to cover a little bit about what net neutrality is, what the repeal actually means, who's going to benefit, who's going to lose out hypothetically, and what the next couple steps are moving forward into 2018. And I'm going to try to leave the politics out of this and give you guys this from a business perspective, ranging from both the internet service provider side as well as the consumer side. I also want to give you guys a little bit of my thoughts on the whole issue itself and what I expect the internet to become like in the next couple of months, so let's jump right into it. So first off, let's talk a little bit about what net neutrality actually is and the history of net neutrality. I'm going to use a Business Insider article here just to assist me in explaining it. I think they do a pretty good job of actually separating the sections that I want to discuss in this video. So let's jump right into what is net neutrality. Now, as you guys can see here, it says net neutrality is the principle that all traffic on the internet should be treated equally. Under the current net neutrality rules that we have had for the past couple of years, internet service providers are not allowed to block websites, throttle your connection, or actually provide specialized treatment to anyone on the internet. You are paying essentially for the internet connection that gets you connected, and that is it. You pay a monthly fee for that most likely right now, and you're just simply paying for the connection. Really, the goal of net neutrality was to keep the internet open to everyone and give everyone a fair shot of using the internet. Now, without net neutrality, guys, with the repeal, everyone is a little concerned as to what will happen and what this actually means for net neutrality. Well, without net neutrality, hypothetically speaking, the ISP, which is the internet service provider, could theoretically do the things I mentioned before. They could theoretically block you or throttle your connection or provide specialized treatment for those who are willing to pay more legally. So to give an example, let's think of Netflix or YouTube. Under the current laws for net neutrality, you are able to access the internet and you can view a Netflix movie or a YouTube video without paying any extra fees or charges. You're simply just paying for the internet connection. Now, once net neutrality is repealed, the ISP could hypothetically charge you more as a consumer to view Netflix or YouTube videos, or they could charge Netflix or YouTube more directly to make sure that the companies are paying for their videos to be streamed at the same quality as all the other content on the internet. Now, the internet service providers could also block access to certain websites, hypothetically, and to access certain websites or to view certain videos on the internet, for example, on YouTube or Netflix, you as a consumer may have to pay more just to have access to that. So without net neutrality, the internet would sort of be like a cable package on TV, where you might not have HBO with your current package on Cablevision, but you will have to pay extra and you can get access to HBO. So like I said, the FCC has had net neutrality protections in place since about 2005. They released an updated version in 2015, so these have been around for quite some time, and so that's why this is such a big deal and such big news. Now, even with net neutrality gone, the ISPs would still have to let you know that they are throttling their connection or they are blocking certain websites. They would have to let you know as a consumer about that, but outside of that, hypothetically, they would have access of what you could view, what you could access, and you would have to pay extra for those services. Now, why did the FCC actually repeal net neutrality? Well, the FCC's chairman is Ajit Pai, and he basically is a big libertarian. He believes in the free market, and he thinks that the ISPs are actually not investing enough into the internet. He says that all of these regulations with the net neutrality actually depressed industry investment, and thus he thinks repealing it would actually allow the free market to take over, would spur on the economy or spur on business for the ISPs, which would spur on the economy. Largely speaking, he just wants the internet to be invested in more, specifically by the ISPs and a little bit by the consumers. So the FCC has officially repealed net neutrality, so many of these effects are actually assumed to go into effect in a few months. And in the meantime, there's a lot of opposition to this, guys, and there's a lot of consumers in the public who really want this overturned, members of Congress who want this overturned. So in the 60 days, we're likely to get more news about this, and I will keep you guys updated if you want me to make another video. In terms of what the general effect may be or is assumed to be of net neutrality being repealed, obviously the internet service providers get a lot more power in the internet industry. They can kind of charge you similarly to how they do for cable packages, charge you for certain websites, charge you for certain services. They're just going to make more money off of this. Now, also, already established companies on the internet could also benefit, like Google, Amazon, Netflix, because they already have a user base and they do have the money to actually pay for bandwidth with and actually make sure that you get to be able to view their content. Now, as consumers, we are going to probably have to pay more money for the internet as you would if you want more services in your cable package. So in the short term, it does seem like we are losing a little bit of control that we have right now. But now that I've given you a summary of the actual news today and actually what the effects of net neutrality will be, I wanted to share a little bit of my thoughts on the whole issue. So I just want to give you guys what I think is a rational summary of what will probably happen in the short term. I do think net neutrality is going to go through, and if it does, it obviously will bring the short-term effects with it, like ISPs will get more power and we may have to pay a little bit more money as the consumer. However, I do think that this will actually spur on competition a little bit between the ISPs and different websites that are already established, and there is something to be said about competition in general. So, for example, if YouTube and Netflix both were charging $100 for 6 months of viewing their video content, obviously there's going to be a good amount of people who go for YouTube just because of the price, as it is cheaper than Netflix. Now, also with more money, these ISPs could actually also partner with more media companies and allow you to access more media directly through the ISP, which would be a positive thing. For example, a company like Comcast could go ahead and partner with a company like Netflix and provide certain exclusive access to certain Netflix features just by being a subscriber of Comcast. So I do think a lot of the ISPs are specifically going to partner up with different media companies to provide us an experience similar to what is available in the cable packages. And I honestly do think that we will not have to pay too much extra money, at least in the short term, because some of the competition and some of the companies will not want to be the highest price. They want to be lower price so people continue to use the services. So it'll just be interesting to see, guys. And of course, over the next couple months, there is a chance that it actually gets reinstated once again. So all of this may just be hype right now as it is new news today, but we'll just have to wait and see. So for now, for the next couple months, the internet will remain the same, guys. No need to worry just yet. And Congress and the government is still working out all of these new quirks with the FCC when it comes to net neutrality. So we'll just have to wait and see how this all plays out, guys. But I wanted to give you guys just an overview of net neutrality and really my thoughts about it. So hopefully that actually gave you guys some insight, and hopefully you enjoyed this video. If you did, be sure to subscribe and rate thumbs up. I'll also have all my social media down in the description, so check it out, guys. And thank you for watching. As always, stay awesome, stick around for more, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.